Hello, welcome to another Talotics video. My name is Alan Richardson, and in this video I want to look at the recent changes to YouTube monetization, because the way that you make money on YouTube is not through ad revenue on YouTube. The secret to making money on YouTube is to drive traffic from YouTube to places outside YouTube where you do actually make money. YouTube is about building relationships and adding value. Right, so in January 16, 2018, YouTube have changed their rules for monetization. They put a blog post out that says you will only make money on YouTube now if you have 4,000 watch hours in the previous year and 1,000 or more subscribers. What they also say is that this will affect a lot of people, but 99% of those people affected were making less than $100 per year. Right? Most people do not make a lot of money on YouTube from ad revenue. To add some credibility, because if you look at my Talotics channel, you'll go, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's made no money on YouTube. Talotics is a new channel. I'm building it up. I'm trying to add value. I have another channel where I have about 4,500 subscribers. And even that doesn't make a lot of money, but it gets, last year it's had over 9,000 hours of views, so that will still be monetized. But if I look at the lifetime of the money that I've made on YouTube, it's less than $2,000 over, 8 years? I started taking it seriously over here in 2013, so about 4 or 5 years. So it's not a lot of money. And then when you convert dollars into pounds, it becomes even less. If I was in a country like India, perhaps I'd make more money, and this would be a valid source of revenue. For me in the UK, this is not a valid source of revenue. Some people do make a lot of money on YouTube. They are an exception. So a lot of people are brought into YouTube thinking they're going to make a lot of money on YouTube just by making videos or video blogs or whatever. That's so hard to break through. That's such an exception. And if you were relying on YouTube ad revenue to make you money through YouTube, you were doing it wrong. There are other strategies you need to use, and that's what we're going to cover in here. So what do? You could give up entirely on YouTube and go, this isn't worth my time, which is fine. You were only in it for the money. There are other reasons that keep you doing it. You could go and try and find a competitor. YouTube is the biggest in this space. I don't know anyone else that does this or has a better revenue share, so you probably won't find one, but go and have a look. The point is we have to monetize differently, right? And you don't use YouTube just for the money. You use YouTube because you want to share information. You want to add value into the world. You want to build an online profile. You enjoy making videos and want to get better at making videos. You enjoy sharing your lessons learned. All of those are reasons why I put my stuff out there. And the reason I started out with Talotics was to share lessons I've learned from growing my consultancy business, and I plan to eventually monetize the Talotics content, not necessarily through YouTube ads. Now, if you've got a small channel, you'll look at other things that big channels are doing, like Patreon or sponsors, and they probably won't work for a small channel because you don't have the followers. The reason YouTube aren't monetizing them is you don't have the followers, you don't have the influence. There's no real point showing ads in there. It actually detracts from the viewer experience because every video has ads and some of them just aren't ready for it yet. So we have to work hard to get ready for that and earn those ads. And in the meantime, we make money outside YouTube. What we look at are things that have always worked. And what has always worked is affiliate sales. Saleable content, creating content that you can sell, but you don't sell it on YouTube. You use YouTube as your marketing vehicle to drive traffic to your saleable content. You can have ad-supported content that is linked from YouTube, so blog posts with ads in it. Pretty much all of it is, if you want to make money, you take people off YouTube in order to make the money. Or if you're lucky, you might get ad sponsors. You might be in such a small niche that even a small number of followers makes a difference. YouTube won't monetize you, but other people might. They might sponsor you, might give you products to promote, what else. If it's a really small niche, most people are not in that situation. So most people have to diversify. So one of the good things that happened recently was the adpocalypse. The adpocalypse was where people were monetized, but YouTube just stopped showing ads on their channel, demonetized certain videos. That happened to me. And it made me realize that I was only putting my content on YouTube. And if YouTube weren't going to monetize that content, why should they get exclusivity to it? So I started then putting videos on Facebook, on Instagram. That was really good. I was diversifying the channels. That led to more followers, more sales, more views of these videos. Put videos on LinkedIn. All of that stuff, diversifying where I put the content, helped me. So YouTube actually forced me to realize that a better strategy was diversification. This strategy actually helps us make more money because we're not reliant on ad revenue. We're not passively seeking ad revenue. We're actively doing things that will generate revenue for us. So diversification strategies, we need to upload our videos to everywhere that we can put them. Facebook, LinkedIn, Vimeo, because then if you link to Vimeo and you ever do get ad enabled, you've got a source of video where it's not ad enabled and you can put member traffic or people to visit your blog. You might not want to show them the ads because they've already come to a place where you're going to try and generate revenue from them. If you've got a video and you put it on YouTube, you can cut down the length of that video, edit it for Instagram. If you can cut down a 10-minute video to 1 minute for the key points, you can put it on Instagram. Reuse your content into multiple channels because more platforms means more opportunity for people to follow you and consume your content and upsell to places where you actually do generate your revenue. Now I use YouTube first. I use YouTube first because we get free video hosting. Video hosting is really expensive. When YouTube started, I did not understand how they were going to make money. Couldn't understand because videos are big. File storage was really expensive at the time. Huge amounts of bandwidth, couldn't figure it out. But now we see their model and it has to be ad revenue, so they have to protect that. YouTube is heavily integrated into Google, which is great because YouTube videos come up in search. So if you want people to find your information, you put it on YouTube, it will come through in searches. And YouTube itself has a good search engine. And when people think, I want to watch a video, where do they go? They go to YouTube and search. So putting on YouTube first is massively important because it's people's first call for video watching. If you haven't yet done this, have a look at the YouTube captioning because YouTube, as far as I'm aware, has the best automated caption generation that you can get for free. So then you can go in and edit those subtitles in Google. You can then download those and add them to your Facebook videos or subtitles in your videos that you cut down and use on Instagram. Google is giving you, or YouTube is giving you a lot of features for free that we should use. If you're lucky, you get ad revenue on top, but ad revenue is a bonus. So a couple of case studies, right? I want to show you two people in the business world that are doing a lot on YouTube. So if we look at Gary Vaynerchuk, if you go off to Gary Vaynerchuk's channel, do a search for Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk does monetize his videos with ads. He's got 1 million+ subscribers. He's probably making quite a lot of money from this, but that is not where he makes his money. He makes his money from all the companies that he owns. He does sell books, but I imagine that's a really small part of his revenue generation. Most of this is keeping his profile up, adding value. Fundamentally, he's adding value, but he does ad enable it. Grant Cardone has half the number of followers. He's pumping out stuff that's lots of value. He does not ad enable his videos. He's not getting revenue from YouTube through the ad. But like Gary Vaynerchuk, he has other sources of revenue. He has other businesses. He has courses. He has training. He has books. He promotes those through YouTube. He uses YouTube for live streaming, for webinars, sometimes paid webinars. Gary Vaynerchuk does lots of stuff live. And both of these guys, Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone, are pumping out lots and lots of content on an almost daily basis, which is just constantly adding value for people. And constantly getting more subscribers and more viewers. Grant Cardone also has people kind of sponsoring his videos who put ads in his video. And in some ways, when you look at Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone is much more of a salesperson. So if he put YouTube ads in his videos, it would detract from the sales message that he's doing outside. Gary Vaynerchuk, that's not really his source of revenue, so he can put the ads on. It doesn't really detract from the sales process he's doing outside. So we might be fortunate enough to face that decision at some point. Do the YouTube ads detract from my actual message and sales process that I'm doing? I'm not in that position yet. So I still use YouTube to promote my books, my face-to-face training, my online training, and my consultancy work, because that's where the revenue comes from. And this helps, YouTube helps me build up a profile, build up the trust, build up the credibility in those areas. That's what YouTube is for, to help me make money outside YouTube. Don't panic, right? Because if you're relying on ad revenue, you really weren't doing enough to generate the revenue in the first place. Don't give up hope, because you might make it. If you keep pumping out content and that content is valuable, people will probably subscribe, people will find it if you get lucky enough in those areas. And once the momentum starts building, that's when you start making it. But what we have to do to really survive and really be viable with this is to figure out how you can make money away from YouTube. Start creating that content, create products that you can monetize, drive traffic to those products from YouTube. Keep using YouTube and use all the features in YouTube because they're free, because then they help you migrate your content to other channels, and you need to create content on other channels, and you need to create the content for the viewer that adds value. That's the key to building up that relationship with viewers, so they will eventually buy your stuff. And that fundamentally is the secret to monetization on YouTube. And it's not a secret. It's never been a secret. That is what all the big YouTubers do, in terms of they get ad revenue, they also get sponsorship, they also sell products, they also promote other people's products, they do affiliate sales, they have all of that stuff in there. But sometimes all we see is the ad roll at the front, and we think that's how they're making their revenue. Diversify where you put your content, create content that's monetized, and best of luck to you making money through YouTube despite the changes to the partner program. If this video was useful, consider following me on Facebook or subscribing on YouTube. Everything helps because I'm not going to be monetized on this channel anytime soon.